It's time for our 2018 holiday card tutorial. This year's watercolor designs are simple and minimal and wintry and lovely. Follow along to create handmade greetings for friends and family and to get some practice for your brush strokes. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell and this is actually our 4th annual holiday card tutorial. I'm going to link some of the other videos below, so make sure to check them out afterwards. And before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So let's start with our supplies. If you've ever followed along with a greeting cards tutorial, it's the same stuff. I've got pieces of watercolor paper that I've cut to fit on these blank greeting cards. So we never want to paint right on the greeting cards. It's not the right kind of paper. I've got all my little watercolor pieces cut. I've got 2 glasses of water, one for warm colors, one for cool colors. I'm using a couple synthetic round brushes, but mainly today we want to use these tiny little detail brushes. These are also synthetic. I've picked them up from craft stores, art stores, dollar stores. Just get a very, very tiny brush, and then you might want the larger ones just for mixing up your colors. We're also using the Koi watercolor disc set from Sakura, and I'm going to start here on this one sheet of watercolor paper, and I'm just drawing a very perfectly imperfect oval. Next, I'm mixing up my paints, and what I really want for this color palette on this Christmas card is a very grayed out green. So I've added this dark evergreen color with lots of water, and then I'm adding lots of gray to that. You could also add purple or black or maybe blue, but we're going for this very sophisticated color. And then I'm taking my tiny brush. There's lots of water in there, maybe a little too much. You don't want, well, it depends how light you want these. But I've got my teeny tiny brush, and what I want to show here is that it's all about the brushwork. And this is a very simple card, but it's also very good practice. And what I'm doing is I'm just dragging the brush towards myself, using the body or the belly of that brush and dragging it across the page. And then I'm using the very tip of that little fine detail brush to create some detail along the stems of the leaves and all around the wreath. So we're creating this very, very simple wreath. And in creating this wreath, we're practicing our brush work. So you're going to drag the belly of the brush across the page and then lighten up your stroke, and then use the tip of that brush to do all the fine detail work of creating these little stems. So the belly of the brush creates the leaf shape, and then that tip of the brush just creates the little stem and joins the wreath together. And you're just going to go around the entirety of the oval that you first drew, and you're going to create this wreath. And it's you can add a little bit of extra color into some of those puddle wet areas. You can do some leaves very light, some leaves a little bit darker, but I really love this very gray green. It has that wonderful look of evergreen or color of evergreen or eucalyptus, and it's perfect for creating a winter card. Now you can see I'm just joining up the oval there, and that's it. These come together so easily. You could easily create 8 or 10 depending how many cards you want to send out this Christmas. And by the time you're done 8 or 10, your brush strokes are going to be awesome, and you're going to be so comfortable using a detail brush and creating these shapes. Here I'm doing just a variation on the exact same idea, same theme. Instead of doing an oval for a wreath, I've done 2 intersecting lines that create a laurel, which is like an open wreath. And I'm doing the same sort of thing, just kind of practicing and seeing what sort of leaf shape emerges if I push the brush like this, or if I pull the paint like that, what kind of leaf shape will I get then? And I'm just going to finish this one up by creating 2 stems at the bottom. So I do a little bit of a larger area right at the tip of that stem there. But that's the laurel. And that's what it looks like when it's all done. And we're not quite finished with these, but for now we're gonna set those aside, let them dry. And then this last one is so similar, but I just wanted to show it to you. I'm just using a really light gray-green, and I'm just pushing and pulling the brush to create these tiny little, almost like little pieces of grass. They're so delicate and so simple. And I'm just gonna keep going along here. I watched a really good movie the other night. Have you guys seen The Kindergarten Teacher? It's on Netflix. This is not sponsored. I just watched it and I loved it. It's a movie about beauty and life and how the modern world not only encourages but almost demands mediocrity. And I just think if you're an artist, it's such a good movie. Anywho, this is what it looks like when it's all done. We've got 3 slightly different cards here, and then I just mixed up this wonderful, really saturated hot pink, and I'm using a detail brush again and clean water to create these little berries. And you can just do little ovals, do as many or as few as you like, and you could do red. I'm really into the hot pink this year, but you could do purple, burgundy, whatever. Or if you really like the wreath as they are, you don't have to add the colored berries, but I think it really makes it pop. Okay, we're gonna do one more card design. This is on a square card, so I've marked my center. Then I've marked 1 centimeter out from center and drawn 2 lines there. So I've basically just sectioned off a straight area in the middle of the card. I don't want a lot of pencil, so I'm getting rid of some of my pencil markings while still having the line there, if that makes sense. And then I'm using a white crayon to lay down this nice lines of white wax. And you can see that there, my 2 lines, white wax. You could also use masking fluid to do this. And basically masking fluid is just something that makes it so that the paint cannot go in a certain area, but a white crayon is a good sort of masking fluid hack. And then what we're doing here is we're drawing these beautiful sprigs of greenery and evergreen and winter flowers or whatever, and all of them are coming out from those lines. So across the top, everything is going vertically upward, and then across the bottom, everything is going vertically downward. And it just creates this really simple, cool design element. I think I've definitely seen stuff like this online, and I just wanted to use this idea of working with either wax or masking fluid to create a holiday card. But this would actually be great for so many different projects, for a title page, for your bujo, or all kinds of stuff like that. So it's just this really fun, poppy graphic image. And I'm using different colors, lots of grayed out greens, also some very purpley gray greens, as well as a kind of lime that sort of brings it all together. And I've done leaves of different sizes. Some are very tiny, some are larger. And again, I'm gonna go in with that hot pink, really saturated pink, and add those wonderful berries, and it just makes the whole card come together really well. And that's what it looks like when it's all done. It's got the perfect area for me to put my holiday message. And that's what I'm doing here on all of them. Once they're totally dry, I always write the message in pencil, and then I go over it in pen once I know it's centered. And yeah, these Christmas cards come together so easily. I wanted to do something where it felt like you could actually do 5 or 6 or a dozen of these, and it wouldn't be like weeks of work. So you can actually create beautiful watercolor handmade cards for everyone on your Christmas list this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next Friday with a new tutorial.